dogs.
Yeah.
Hated them.
They're unforgiving.
Unforgiving and ruthless. She was willing to fight for the death. Fight to the death for your attention.
Well, I had I had a female police dog, German Shepherd, and a pit bull, and they used to get in such bad fights. And for me, I was just looking at $1,600 there, another $1,600 there as they're tearing each other up for the vet. I got so good though at choking them on just right on conscious.
Well, the problem is not when you're there. The problem is when you're not
Exactly.
there. And that's what happened with Squeaky.
Yeah.
She killed one of my dogs when I wasn't here.
Yeah.
She was a crazy dog, but she just would not tolerate any bullshit. And because of the way they raise them, man, you know, they're just willing to fight to the death. The game ones are the ones that get to
every
breeding.
other animal fights out of fear or dominance, and dominance including territorial, you know, which is under the umbrella of being territorial. Whereas pit bulls actually are bred to actually enjoy the fight, and a lot of times in a fight, an hour into it, they're wagging their tail.
You know, they're great dogs if you raise them and you're there with them all the time. They're super loving and really loyal companions, but they're dangerous as fuck when it comes to other animals.
Yeah,
they're too crazy.
Yeah.
Having them and not having them, I prefer to not have them. Even though, you know, I loved my dogs. They were awesome dogs. They were super friendly and obedient, and they were really, like, affectionate. Too much, man. Yeah. Too crazy. Too crazy. Too dangerous. You know, other people's dogs get fucked up by your dog, and you feel like a douchebag. You know, it's like you can't take them to the dog park if they're on a leash. My dog bit at someone's face, someone's dog's face, through the fence, and grabbed a hold of it through this dog's fence. Oh, we were walking. I totally didn't expect it. We were walking, and he's on the leash, and this dog sticks his head through the fence, like, and he's like, "What, bitch?" And he just locked onto it.
So fast.
So quick. He had half of the fence in his teeth and half of this dog's face.
Did you have to choke him off?
Yeah, I had to pull. You have to grab his collar and twist it.
Yeah.
And yank on him. I had to put him to sleep. I had to put him to sleep a couple times. I had to put him to sleep when he was trying to kill my cat.
Yeah.
He was fucking nuts.
Yeah.
It was a Frank Sinatra.
Frank.
Yeah. He was a great dog, like with people, but with animals, and it was not how I raised him. It is. It's just their genetics.
Yeah.
You know, I raised him around his cat. I raised him around cats and dogs, and he was.
The more we learn,
I was around him all the time. They're just too crazy.
But the more we learn about genetics, anyway, the more we realize it's a lot less nurture than it is nature. We are slaves to our DNA in a lot of ways.
There's a lot of that going on for sure, in both humans and in animals. There's
doubt.
just nothing you could do. I mean, it's all moving in a certain direction for a reason, okay? Because this is the best way that the species stays strong. You know, and there's a bunch of fucking chemicals, and a lot of them are dictating your actions all the time. And if you're a pit bull, I mean, how much of no is going to get in your head?
Well, reading this book, we were talking about it yesterday, where you know, genetically for thousands of years, people have learned how to like crossbreed, you know, and whether it's plants or animals, and come up with what they want. But now with genetic engineering, we're going to have crazy abilities to do this on pinpoint accuracy, like combining an actual like alligator with, you know, I mean, for real, like an alligator with a lion. I mean, they're doing crazy experiments where they can cross-pollinate DNA.
That's totally inside the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
You know what's really nuts, man, is dogs. There's no real answer to how people bred dogs to be so crazy different. And they all came from wolves.
Yeah.
You know, genetically, all dogs come from wolves. And that was like a big shock when they found that out. Because that just leaves a whole lot of questions. Like, you know, we don't, you know,
so they don't know. They don't know where the delineation happened. How they
don't know. They thought it was a bunch of other wild canids. And I would have to double check this article because I don't really recall the details of it. But I remember that they were shocked that they found that dogs' DNA was direct from wolves, and that somehow or another a wolf became a Chihuahua. You know, a wolf became a bulldog.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they just slowly bred. How the fuck did that happen?
Well, that's breeding. That's thousands of years of breeding.
It seems wrong.
They can do that with horses.
I know it's right, but it seems wrong. It seems like if you had to bet, you know, you'd be like, how could that be right? How is that possible?
Right.
A fucking Chihuahua came from a wolf?
Right.
That there's no way.
Well,
how could you make something?
But human beings, as they learn more about the genome, like they couldn't figure out why AIDS never became a heterosexual disease in this country, but it was rampant in Africa. Well, what they just discovered was that when you have a certain mutation on your gene, that mutation, if you're Northern European, anybody really that you know that's white or of European descent, they are the ones that survived the bubonic plague, and everybody else died. And the people that survived that plague had a certain mutation in their gene that also makes them HIV resistant. Whereas the bubonic plague did not hit Africa. Africa had its own diseases, but that particular plague never hit Africa. So they never developed a mutation in their gene to survive a plague like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
It's fucking nuts.
I'm smart.
just the diversity of it all. It's just how different things are happening all the time. There's different diseases we're fighting off, and there's different things we're adapting to. And who knows what's going on with our brains right now because of the different kinds of access to information that we have now with the internet and just with social networking. Like there's so much more access to information right now. Like who knows what's changing in our